Well, hey.
Hello. How are you?
Well, a little, I'm still a little shaky right now. Mandy and I
Yeah.
just had a rough start to our episode.
We did, and it's been a really rough couple of weeks. Our audio video sound engineer is on the verge of quitting,
I'm about to have a nervous breakdown.
which is Lisa, and I apologize. It is all me.
No.
From last week, we recorded this pretty funny episode, and we were reminiscing and walking down memory lane about the 80s. Even had our 80s costumes on. I'm sure you guys are going to see them at some point if you haven't already. But I messed with my microphone, must have turned it off, or somebody did not want us getting famous. I don't know. But we were not able to drop our episode
We're a threat to someone out there,
this
clearly.
week. That's right. Apparently, there are other podcasters who are sabotaging our sound. But in all seriousness, I apologize because poor Lisa, I thought, was going to have a nervous breakdown. I turned off my microphone somehow right at the beginning of the last episode.
Yeah, right when we sat down to record, Mandy adjusted her mic, and we think that she might have hit the mute button, and I never looked over to check. And now I'm super paranoid. I keep looking over to make sure my mic's working, and I'm accidentally looking at Mandy's every time, and I freak out because I see no sound coming out. And then of course the one time that I give like a different type of sneak peek last week. You remember I put out that picture and I was like,
Yeah.
a little sneak peek of what's to come. And it had Mandy and I in our leotards. And then of course we can't post it. So we did say that we were going to commit to doing 10 episodes, which we did. This is our 10th episode, but only 9 will get released. So it is what it is.
And we're planning for next year.
Yeah.
And we've got a couple of ideas already brewing, things that we think would be fun or informational, or both. And that's what we like to do is give our opinions, like everybody cares, and have a little bit of fun, have some laughs, but also provide some guidance or some, information, things that we've looked at.
Well, if they'll drink a margarita while they're listening, they will care. Okay?
They absolutely will care. And if they're 50-year-old women in menopause, they will care.
Right. Well, and the reason why we've had a little rough start is when we started again tonight, we were having a microphone issue. And so it took us 45 minutes to figure out how to add the microphone. Nevertheless, here we are on this election day podcast night. So this is the end of a chapter tonight.
It is, and I'm sad. I've actually enjoyed coming over and having margaritas and talking shit. So, but we'll have a lot more of that next season.
Yeah, so tonight's just going to be like a recap episode. We're going to kind of go over everything that went on, maybe some mishaps and favorite moments, and give updates and just that sort of thing. So before we really dive into it, I thought we could start off with getting an update from you on your dating life. Okay. We have been telling everyone we were going to let them know, and since we're about to go, ghost on everyone for the next few months, we thought maybe y'all like to hear an update for the last time.
Well, there's not really much of an update. The dating website that I'm on is still a complete shit show. And let's be honest, this is me holding myself accountable. I do not get on there as much as I should, but I do get notifications that will say if somebody has messaged me or something. But anyway, without saying the name, this particular one is where we've talked about this before. Men will like you, and then you have to respond. And so I finally sat down because I had all those likes. I mean, it just gets overwhelming for my
Yeah.
ADHD brain. And after I've been traveling and having all these hundreds and hundreds of likes from people all over these states that I'm never going to talk to, I finally have gone in and started, deleting some out and,
What's your
swiping
number down
left.
to?
I think I'm now just over 100.
Oh,
so
that's
I've
good.
gotten rid of like 450 something.
Yeah.
But anyway, I messaged 3 people yesterday because I'm like, okay, I'm going to get serious about this because I haven't been on a date in a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'm going to get serious about this. And so I messaged 3 people, and one of them we talked back and forth a little bit. Of course, hadn't heard anything today. These grown men that cannot commit and be like, hey, I want to take you out. Let's see if we're a match, whatever. Yeah. They would prefer to message back and forth for a week and then ghost you. Another one sent me back an emoji. This is a 54-year-old man. Sent me back an emoji of Tom and Jerry with like no hey or any. It was just like the
wave.
The wave. So that annoyed me. And then one kind of really cute guy that I thought, oh, and maybe he got annoyed with me because it took me so long to respond, and that was not intentional. It's not that I'm sitting there with one like going, I'm scared to message him. But anyway, I messaged him yesterday, and it was very just generic. It was like, hey, just saw your profile, thought we had some things in common, blah, blah, blah. I mean, just standard, right? And he deleted me. So here we are again. This
Mandy's either getting blocked or deleted
I
again.
mean, I am like, what is happening? So anyway, my membership is up. My subscription is up for renewal on the 20th, and I'm deleting that bad
You
boy.
are? You are
am.
going to?
I have to. I keep saying I'm going to do
Yeah.
it. I just have to. I can't do it. It's just too much.
Yeah.
But, next season I'll be back on it.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
mean, you can give it a break, and then
Yeah.
by the time we ramp this back up, you may be on there again, and we'll have new Rods to talk about.
Oh my God, Rod. He has stolen the show.
Rod, thanks for all the material.
I
We
know.
appreciate it.
Yes, and you don't even know how appreciated you are because you have been mentioned at least 4 times.
You gave us some good laughs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I was thinking last night about when we started all of this. And so I looked back through my text messages and, well, to back up a little bit, and we've said on here before that we were, I think at dinner one night, and I was telling you that I, had been wanting to do this podcast, and Jeffrey said, oh, you need to do it with Mandy. So, and I don't remember when you and I had that conversation. Probably late spring, early summer, maybe. So last night I pulled up our text messages because I do remember texting you saying, because we're going to have dinner, and I said, I want to talk to you more about this podcast. Okay, this may explain why we've been having so many issues with the video and audio, because we clearly don't know what we're doing. I texted you that on August the 9th. Okay. We recorded our first podcast August 16th.
Yeah.
So it was quick.
Oh, yeah.
It was quick. We did it in a week.
Well, and there's very little that I don't do like that in my life. I mean, I'm not going to say that I don't procrastinate in certain areas, but most of the time, if there's something I'm going to do, I'm doing it right now. Like you said, hey, I definitely want to do this podcast idea, and I'm like, let's do it.
Yeah.
What, can I come over tomorrow?
Yeah.
Like, we're ready to go.
Well, and I think I was a little naive in thinking, oh, we'll just record and, have a microphone set up, and everything will just be great. And, I soon realized that wasn't the case, but it has been a good learning experience. We've had, I was trying to think about it all last night. We went from, help me remember some of these issues that we had, because I just wanted to talk about like some of the challenges that we've had, but
Yeah.
also some of the good moments too. So
I think the very first podcast, we sounded like we were in another room because
Yeah.
we had one microphone and we weren't sure how it was going to pick up, and it was too far away from our mouths.
And honestly, I never even thought about it. I
No.
thought if there's a microphone in the room, it'll pick us up. I didn't know
Yeah.
that by us sharing one that was like 5 feet away, that it was going to sound good.
Well,
And then the lighting was a little off in the room, which I've yet to post. We haven't posted that episode 1 video. So no one even knows what it looks like. But it wasn't horrible. It was just, I think we had the camera back a little far, and then the lighting from the window was coming in at one point. At one of the best parts of the video, you were talking about you on your dating website. And so I thought, oh, well, we got to get that fixed. We'll, touch it up some. And then the next episode, I believe, is when, on accident, posted the video on YouTube or something instead of the audio. Or something like that. And I remember texting you saying, okay, I've accidentally done this. Do you want me to delete it? And you're like, nah, just go with it. So from then on, we kept posting the videos on YouTube, and then I would do teasers. But I feel like almost every episode it's been something. And then the very next episode 4, the stress management, we had no video.
yeah.
We forgot to hit record. I forgot to hit record. So we only had audio.
Well, I will say this, and I am certain that I'm the only one in this camp because I know you and I both want things right. We're perfectionists.
Yes.
I honestly think it adds to the charm, and I know you probably don't because you're the one doing all the heavy lifting with the audio and the video and trying to post things, and I so appreciate that. But for me, I think it's something that we can look back on and go, wow, what amateurs, but look what
Absolutely.
we've accomplished.
Absolutely.
Like, I think you have to crawl, and then you have to walk, and then you have to run.
Right.
And we're not running yet, but we're getting there. And a lot of that is a testament to the time that you spend on it. And, we had dinner with a friend this week. And it's
Because of the podcast,
because
might I
of the
add.
podcast.
Yes.
And last week, actually, and she said, oh, so Mandy, you just show up and talk. And I'm like, yeah, actually, that is what I do. So it's just kind of fun to see the transformation and, again, our friendship and the way that we communicate with each other and the way that we talk to each other. This is exactly it, and I'm excited to have it. I don't care if we have 25 subscribers.
Right.
But I think it's fun to watch. And our first episode, to me, was the best.
It was one of the best. I actually was thinking about which ones I liked the best. And episode 1 is definitely one of my favorites, only because it's a unique episode.
Yeah.
I think it was hilarious. And it was just our first time. So it was just so...
Organic.
Yeah, it was. And then probably out of all the other episodes, because they were all a little bit different, that one was more, we spent a lot more time on introductions and just kind of talking about different things. But I really enjoyed the friendship episode 2. That may be my favorite. It's up there. I really enjoyed talking about that. I was very passionate about it. It meant a lot to me. It still does. I think it always will. So I think some of those where it hits you a little harder than other episodes.
Sure.
I know you really enjoyed the women's health episode.
I did. I had a lot to say about it just because of where I am in my life. And, as we were sitting here earlier, I got a notification from Walgreens. So you all can take a big sigh of relief that my hormones are ready, so nobody's going to die this week. But in all seriousness, I think we have a long way to go in women's health, and that was one of my favorite ones because I feel like it sheds light. I mean, people are embarrassed sometimes to talk about what they're going through, and they also feel like they're going crazy.
Right.
So I think just understanding that there are other people out there. And then the questions one.
Yeah,
that
I like
was
that one
another
too.
funny one too.
And it was fun.
and
It was something
lighthearted.
different. Yeah, I enjoyed that one. I really enjoyed the parenting episode. I really did like that one. And the insecurities and confidence one. Just because, again, I think it was more personal to me. And and actually all of those were the most personal to me. Obviously women's health was too, but it was just kind of a different vibe. But my favorites, other than episode 1, would be the friendships, the parenting, and the insecurities and finding confidence. Because I think while things like stress management and women's health is important to talk about, when you're talking about getting real with other women, how you parent your children and the struggles that go with that, and actually admitting what your insecurities are, all of that takes you being vulnerable to talk about. And anytime somebody is vulnerable, like, I'm hooked. And I think that's how people connect. And I think that's how people sometimes have the courage to speak out and share. Otherwise, it stays bottled up.
Yeah. I think women's health also is so broad that it's hard to really talk about that to any depth in 45 minutes or an hour. I do feel like some of that piece, and maybe that's where you're coming from, I do feel like some of those pieces for me were me being very vulnerable, because we don't want to talk about it. It's kind of embarrassing to talk about. I mean, in my mind, I still feel like I'm 20-something years old or 30. And so to admit, oh my gosh, I'm 50 and I've got these issues. Like, I've got the beginnings of osteoporosis.
Right.
I've got, these things that you relate to your grandmother or to your mother, and now you're going through them. And so, especially with me feeling vulnerable and talking about those things while I'm dating, while I'm 50 years old, and that landscape has changed. And so, that creates a whole new, I guess, subject matter.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think going forward, we were planning on maybe start back up in February, recording again, with the hopes of maybe towards the end of February, early March, go ahead and releasing those episodes. So our plan right now is to start back up in February. We're going to take a break over the holidays and, get through all of that, because it's such a busy time, and focus on family and that sort of thing. But start back up in February, release the end of February, early March. And I'm thinking again, no more than 10 episodes.
Yeah.
And I think I'm so emotional about it right now. There's been part of me that's thought maybe we should just do 8. So I'm thinking like 8 to 10. I mean, obviously you and I will figure things out, as time goes on, but I think just giving everyone an idea of what's to come, we'll do 8 to 10 episodes. And we're trying to figure out what to talk about. I don't want to be super repetitive. Obviously, some of the things that we've talked about, we could have a part 2 on, but it would be nice if people would let us know what they want to hear.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Give us suggestions. I mean, we've got a couple of ideas brewing already, but we would love to hear from you guys. Like, what are some things that you want to hear women our age talk about? And, it can be anything, and we can figure it out.
Or if anyone has any questions that they want to ask us, that would go along the lines of when we did our interview, episode. If you just want to get to know us a little bit more, like, what are some things that you want us to talk about? What questions that you have for us? We've talked about with each other about maybe having a guest or 2 on. We don't know. We haven't figured all that out. Plus, we would have to add a new microphone.
Oh, Lord. Well, you can bet your bottom dollar we will never have a guest speaker on here. I'll have to leave, or Lisa will have to leave, and we'll have to have the microphone set up.
Well, and I'm going to try some things with the video and audio over the next couple of months, but I would like to see what it looks like for us to do something remotely or multiple cameras. So we have different angles and different shots versus just one shot. And, even little things like, if you watch us on YouTube, do you like watching us just sit on the couch talking to each other? Would you prefer us to be more, personable and look into the camera? Little things like that. We are not.
Yeah, we're open.
Yeah, we're open to the constructive criticism because, we don't know what we're doing. We're just trying to figure it out. But if we're going to do this, we really do want to make it the best podcast that we can do. Mm-hmm. I want the best audio, the best video, the best content that the people that do listen to us will enjoy. Mm-hmm. That's all I want.
For sure. And I think it's opened up doors. Like I said, we've met with someone that started listening to our podcast. Mm-hmm. I have gotten text. I know you've gotten text. And so there are women, even if it's very few at this point, there are women who identify with the things that we're talking about. Right. And I think it's really important, again, just to make people not feel like they're alone.
Yeah. Early on, I think we both got a lot of text and private messages from some of our friends that were listening. I had one friend in particular that would literally text me every week. She would listen on Tuesdays. Mm-hmm. She would wait and listen because she knew that a new episode would drop on Tuesdays. And for like 3 or 4 weeks straight, she would text me saying how much she enjoyed it. We had another friend that, because of the podcast, we received messages from her. We recently met over dinner, like what you were saying earlier. So we've reconnected with someone that we were friends with years ago. Mm-hmm. I've got, my brother, for instance. He has texted me so many times over the past few weeks talking about how much he enjoys it. He even jokes about, being on the episode one time as a guest. So it's just, we've got different people that are listening, and the content matters.
Yeah, it absolutely does. Yeah. And, for me, and this is just my opinion, I have seen a couple of podcasts where they show the video and literally they're sitting on a sofa and they're talking into a microphone. Right. And I prefer that rather than just the audio. Yes, it's great to have the audio version as well if you're driving. Right. I had a friend text me today and say, hey, I'm catching up. I'm driving and I'm going to catch up on all the episodes today. I've got a long drive. And so, I think it's good to have it in different formats, but I really enjoy watching people. And it just makes you feel like a Zoom call or that you're in the room with them. Right. And so I enjoy that, but if people don't want to look at us, I won't be offended.
I mean, it might be kind of boring just watching two women sit and talk for 45 minutes, but, whatever. I thought I would like the video more. Mm-hmm. When I listen to it on my phone, if I'm doing something around the house or I'm driving, I really like the sound of just listening to the audio. Right. But I also like a visual. I'm a visual person, and so I like to see usually when I'm listening to. So I do enjoy that as well. And my sister and my mom, I think my mom may only watch the YouTube videos. Mm-hmm. And my sister enjoys watching the videos as well. So it just depends on your taste. So we'll try to make it available on any platform that works for you. But so we've gotten a lot of positive feedback from it. And we're very appreciative that we've gotten that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's, again, it does cater more toward 50-year-old women or in that age bracket. However, to your point about your brother, I think it speaks to other people as well. And, especially people that maybe know us. Right. It's more insight into our psyche, which is a little scary. Right. But I also think it's relatable. It's content and things that other people are dealing with as well.
Well, and he thinks we're funny together, and he knows you. So it may be a little bit more personal
Sure.
to him, and that's why. But you know, I don't know if there are any other men out there listening. I know my oldest son listens sometimes, and I think my husband does sometimes. But other than that, you know, I don't really know. And some things that we talk about, men aren't going to want to listen to anyway. So that's really
Right.
not the demographic that we were shooting for anyway.
Well, you know I'm shy, but I have not really promoted it very much. And then Lisa and I went into a store the other night, and so I'm telling the sales clerk all about our podcast. And she went and got a piece of paper and a pen and wrote it down.
She sure
and I was
did.
like, hey, we're on Spotify, we're on YouTube, we're on Apple, you know. So I think if I start sharing it a little bit more, we're gonna hit more than 25 subscribers.
Yeah.
But,
And, you know, just to clarify, okay, we have 25 subscribers on YouTube.
I love this.
And
And
then
so we have more on Spotify.
we've got,
and
I
Apple.
don't think we have quite as much on Spotify or Apple, but combined we probably do. And listen, I was late to the game on getting out on Instagram. Y'all, it's just been a lot for me, and I've been trying. But I'll put, you know, the teasers on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. I think that's the only 3 that I do. And on TikTok, on our TikTok page, we've got like 450 followers, which I know some people are like, y'all, that's nothing on TikTok. I don't care.
It's a
still,
lot.
It's still 450 people
and
for us.
I keep sharing
Yes,
it every
do.
time. And so, you know, I think it's, again, we're not trying to be famous here, but I do think it's reaching more people
Yeah.
than we initially thought.
Well, and I can see the analytics on all 3, Spotify, podcast, and YouTube. So there's a lot more views and listens than there are followers or subscribers.
Right.
So for whatever it's worth, I mean, at this point, you know, we're brand new, and but you never know one day. So if you do listen, just go ahead and, I'm going to sound like an influencer now, click that subscribe button.
Yeah, that's right. Follow, subscribe.
Yeah, it's not. We're not going to be sending you anything. It's just you'll get a notification when we upload a video or when
Yeah,
a
but
video
I would
releases.
really enjoy and appreciate if, you know, George Clooney with his tequila wanted to sponsor us.
There you
if
go.
You want to send us a bottle of tequila to make our margs, George.
Because we've got 2 bottles of yours downstairs
That's
now
right.
that we've been using.
And we have your mouse pad up here
That's
that we
right.
use consistently.
I got it right
and we
here.
should show it.
You wanna show it?
Yeah, I think you
Let's
should,
show it.
because when he sends us the tequila, we got to give him a shout out. See, there's George Clooney.
In his tux.
In his tux with his salt and pepper hair.
And a little bit of scruff on his face.
See, this is the kind of dating stuff I need.
Mandy thought these men were going to show up on her dating website.
Yeah.
Instead, it's Elmer Fudd. Okay,
I'm
that's what it is.
Oh my God, because it actually is. Y'all, this has just been the most humbling and disappointing thing in my life. But it's okay.
Well, we're going to start calling it like what we said the other night. It's a cesspool. It's not a dating pool. It's a cesspool.
It is a cesspool.
She was sending me more of what was on there, and it's bad, y'all. It is bad.
It is bad. And she feels sorry for me now. And so she now no longer feels bad about the heavy lifting she's doing on this podcast. She's like, girl, you got your plate full.
That's right.
She's like, oh my God, what is wrong with these
That's
people?
right. But, you know, at the end of the day, it has been a challenge for me. And yes, I'm a perfectionist. I wanted all this to go easily. I wanted it to be how I envisioned it. And there have been many days, more in the beginning, not so much. Well, it was a lot in the beginning, like the first 3 or 4 weeks. And then it kind of evened out because I sort of figured out some things. And then the past 2 weeks have not been great because of all of the audio issues that we've had. So it's had its ups and downs. But at the end of the day, I don't regret doing this for one second.
It has been so fun for me. And like I said, if we had 0 subscribers or even 0 listeners, this has been really fun.
Yeah, it has.
And we're going to look back on it and be so grateful that we have these videos or these audios of these conversations. And I'm not a super sentimental person. I mean, I am about some things, but I'm going to get very sentimental here. If something were to happen to me or you, we would at least have this to remember our friendship. And, you know, that is rare. And it doesn't come around very often for you to have 40 plus years of friendship with people either.
Well, of course, I've already thought that because I'm morbid, we've said before. So it has already crossed my mind that if anything were to ever happen to one of us, that the other one has these videos and audios, all of the audio recordings of this.
And it will be on loop at my funeral. But I've got to take PTO for my funeral. So parenthood, I may have mentioned this already. I think it's funny that my youngest son's girlfriend is a listener with some of her sorority sisters.
Yes.
And promptly reported back to my son just some different things that I said in the parenting episode, which I thought was super cute and super funny.
It's interesting that she listens, and then my oldest son's girlfriend, she listens too. She's 23. So it's them being supportive, which is what we needed. And at the end of the day, they don't have to be. They've got better things to do. But they still take the time to listen to what we have to say. And they may be interested, they may be not. But I guarantee you, some things that we have said throughout these past 9 episodes that will air, they'll remember some things that we've said, and they'll look back on, whether it's 5 years from now or 15 years from now, and remember certain things, because we do know a little bit about what we're talking about. Sometimes, you know, old age comes with wisdom, or wisdom comes with old age, I should say. So, you know, we've been there, done that. They can learn a thing or two from listening to us.
Well, I agree. And the ladies at my chiropractor office were having a watch party or a listen party one night and sent me a message. And so my chiropractor, he's a young guy. He's like late 20s, early 30s. Like he's very young. And I told him he should be listening to Mom Bods and Margaritas. And he was like, what? You know, you got to tell the ladies at the front desk. And I'm like, oh, they know. Oh, they've been listening. So
Mandy does a better job of promoting it in person versus me. I'm better kind of behind the screen, and I'll put it out there.
But I really haven't. And so if I go ham on it, we're going to have like 100 subscribers.
Well, you've told anybody that you've told in person, that's the exact number more than what I've told in person. Because the other night when she mentioned it in the store, as soon as she said it, as soon as it was coming out, I think just like instinctively, my first response was, oh my gosh. When she started
she's like trying to run to the corner to pretend she's trying on a shirt. And I'm like, no.
But it's funny. It's funny. So we balance each other out well.
Yes.
But I think one thing that I would say that I could take away from all of this, other than just the learning curve from technology, from the technology aspect of it, would be, for me personally, it was putting myself out there to do something I did not have a clue on what or how to do it. Yeah. Even the technology part of it. But at the same time, sharing a little bit about my life and you sharing yours, and putting it out there, not knowing how people were going to respond. Sure. Because I say neither one of us, both of us, or either, is not going to always be somebody's cup of tea.
Absolutely not.
And so we have to be okay with that. We can't, everyone that listens to us, if everyone tuned in that first episode and then they listened to 2 and 3 and was like, this really isn't my style. It's kind of, boring or annoying or whatever your reason was. That's okay, and it has to be okay with us. And if we try to cater too much to please everyone that we think is listening, it's not going to work. So we have to just be who we are and find a balance between the listeners that we do have, what they want to hear, and what we're willing to talk about and share and be ourselves. And how it ends up is how it ends up. And being okay with that.
Well, and you know me well enough to know that I have a very hard time trying to be what someone wants me to be. I feel like if we're not authentic and we're not enjoying it and we're just doing it, going through the motions, it's going to come through, whether in the video or the audio. And again, we're not doing this for likes. It's great if people like it and people enjoy it, but I think people can tell when you're not being authentic and you're not really enjoying what you're discussing. And so my aim is not to please everybody. Right. And I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea, so drink coffee.
Well, there you go. And sometimes it's hard because I think by nature, we want people to like us. We don't want to disappoint anyone. We don't want to embarrass anyone. You know, it's all the things. And so some people may look at the end result and say, okay, we've got only 450 followers on TikTok. After this one, we'll get more because we've been accruing every time. We've only got 25 on YouTube. We've only got this and that. And some can look at that as a failure and some cannot. And I'm proud of both of us. And that really not being an issue for us. It's great, but it's also not the end of the world. And if you don't want to listen, that's fine. If you do, great. But for us to be able to share a little bit about ourselves and to do this and put ourselves out there and be okay with whatever the end result was, which I think you and I have felt like that the entire time, says a lot about who we are and who we've become as the years have gone on.
Yes, and that goes back to insecurities and being vulnerable and being nervous about what other people are going to think. And I hate to even say this because I hate when people make these half quotes, and I do it all the time. I'm so guilty of it. But I read something today about somebody having a what I felt like was a really high success rate. It was like 63 out of 78 or something. I'm like, wow, those are really good odds, or, you know, that was a really good record. And then it's like, yeah, if you hit from the 3-point line in basketball, 68 out of 73, you're a superstar. If your parachute opens 68 out of 73 times, you're splatting on the ground.
There you go.
So I think it depends. It's in context.
Right.
And for us, we didn't do it because we thought we were going to be famous or something. Like we're doing it because we thought it'd be really fun.
Right.
And we could connect with other women our age. And if that is the end result, then that's great. But it will never be because we're not who we are.
No. And at the end of the day, we've had people reach out to us. We've reconnected with old friends. And I view that as a pretty successful first go around.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot of work to do, but
we do.
I think all in all, it's been very successful. So I'm glad we did it. I don't regret 1 second of it. And, you know, just the technology side of it, I'm ready for a little bit of a break. But other than that, I've been fairly pleased overall.
Yeah.
I would say.
For me, it's a great outlet. I can be creative, but I'm not a super creative person because I'm kind of a head down, facts, results oriented, you know, striving, that kind of thing. And I don't really take the time to sit back and be creative. And for me, this is a creative outlet. This is something that I love to connect with other people, especially you. And, you know, for me, this has been really energizing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah.
So, I guess that's it.
Yeah. So make sure you tune in No kidding. Like and subscribe.
Yes, please.
And let us know. Send us a note or comment on one of our videos or something and let us know what are some other things that you'd like for us to discuss, or give us suggestions. We're big girls.
Yeah.
We can take it.
There's plenty of ways you can get in touch with us. If you know us personally, you can send us a text or call us.
Yeah.
But if not, you can comment on YouTube. You can
Yeah.
comment on any of the videos, the teasers, or the teasers on Facebook, Instagram. TikTok,
Yep.
and then the video on YouTube. There's plenty of ways that you can let us know. I think I've got comments enabled on everything, so there shouldn't be an issue. But yeah, just let us know.
Yeah.
I will say, I would like to end the episode.
Yeah.
Well, I've got to turn on my airplane mode.
Oh no. You know her phone's going to ring again.
My husband's
She's
going to try
very
to call.
popular in the evenings.
Exactly. My husband may already be home. He may be downstairs, but we'll see how this is going to go. But now I'm afraid I'm going to ruin the surprise. So now this is really not going to go well since it's taken me so long. And this is one of those if you know kind of thing, and I hope that you know this. So. I miss you, baby. Whether you're pro Menendez brothers or anti-free Menendez brothers, we're going to end the episode. Or this season with Girl, I'm Gonna Miss You.
One of the greatest songs. I love it so much.
Good old Milli Vanilli.
Yes.
All right. Well, we will try to maybe do some off-season little videos.
Yeah,
like
little fun things
just
on TikTok.
kind of touching base, and we'll just see how it goes. But anyway, we just wanted to thank everyone for giving us a chance and listening to us. So
yeah, we love you guys. Thank you so much for listening.
All right. Well, y'all have a good week.
All right. Bye.
Bye.